mer qu'on voit danser le long des golfes clairs a des reflets d'argent, la mer, des reflets changeants sous la pluie, la mer.
Originally, there were three main reasons for going to sea. You were a commercial trader, buying something in one place and selling it in another. You were an explorer, looking for a place to explore. Or you were in the Navy and projecting your national interests. The idea of going to sea for pleasure is relatively new. The first luxury cruise boat was built in 1833. It was built in Italy, and it was christened Francisco I, but it wasn't available to the general public. You had to be a member of the European royalty, or very rich, or very famous. But once you got on, you had a great time. They had excellent food, private parties, gambling, and escorted tours on shore. The first company to truly enter the cruise business was the Peninsular and Oriental Steam Navigation Company. In 1844, it offered a luxury cruise service from England to Gibraltar, Malta, and Athens. During the second half of the 1800s, the business took off. They built bigger and more luxurious ships and added cruises to Egypt and Turkey. During the first half of the 20th century, the idea of luxury cruising was catching on. But it was the 1970s television series Love Boat that truly popularized the idea.
Love Boat, soon we'll be making another run.
As part of a series of fundraising projects for our PBS stations, I have hosted over 30 European river cruises. From Amsterdam to Basel on the Rhine, from Paris to Normandy on the Seine, from Regensburg to Budapest on the Danube, from Arles to Lyon on the Rhone, from winery to winery on the Loire, along the Douro in Portugal, and thousands of PBS viewers have traveled with me. Sadly, I have run out of European rivers to cruise on. Accordingly, I'm going to sea to see what I could see. The Baltic Sea is in northern Europe. Its northern shores touch the coasts of Sweden and Finland. To the south is Denmark, Germany, and Poland. My cruise started in Portsmouth, England, just down the road from London. Portsmouth has an extraordinary naval history. It has the world's oldest dry docks. It's where Lord Nelson built his flagship for the Battle of Trafalgar. Charles Dickens, the author of Oliver Twist, lived in Portsmouth. So did Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote the Sherlock Holmes stories.
It didn't put handcuffs on Colonel Moran, so I had to do it myself. Inspector MacDonald, during the fight, was more hindrance than help, which is not characteristic of a real policeman.
Amazing, Holmes. Uncovering such a fiendish plot with so little evidence.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger trained here. And it was the birthplace of Peter Sellers.
Does your dear go back? No? Oh. Yes, dear good. I thought you said your dog did not bite.
That is not my dog.
Our first stop was Zeebrugge, which is a port on the coast of Belgium. People have been living in the neighborhood for over 5,000 years. It's a primary seaport with lots of commercial traffic. Just inland from the port is the city of Bruges. During the 1100s, Bruges developed some of the earliest forms of commercial capitalism and became one of the world's most important commercial centers. They used bills of exchange, letters of credit, and promissory notes. In 1309, they opened what was probably the world's first stock exchange. They welcomed foreign traders dealing in everything from cloth to spices. They set up economic colonies in England and Scotland. The first book printed in English was printed in Bruges by William Caxton. And as you might expect, these days you can download many of Caxton's books from the internet. The top attractions are the Museum of Classical Flemish Art, the Town Market, the Belfry, the Church of Our Lady, the Basilica of the Holy Blood, and the Provincial Palace.